What's up, manga fans? This is Raphael from C Manga, and welcome back to another review of Bleach. This week's chapter 620. Where do you stand? Now, where does Ishida stand? I believe it's with his friends, his nakama. Even though he currently stands with the Quincy's, this chapter is clearly shown that he is protecting these friends and he has a plan. He's not brainwashed. There's no blindly following, Yhwach because of his Quincy, you might as well say heritage or whatever. He is definitely rusing the whole situation and is trying to act so he can do something behind the scenes and obviously gain the trust of the enemy while becoming the enemy to his friends to protect them. This is what I am seeing in this chapter, and I think it's brilliantly done. This chapter has shown me that after Ukura, I think Ishida's probably got the second best poker face in Bleach, and his acting was spot on. It was very well contrasting with Ichigo, as well as he seemed to use Ichigo's, kind of rageful, I'd say, hot-headed nature, where he's easily aggravated and can, say things that will make the scenario seem more truthful than it is. And as I said, the friction was right there. It was brilliantly tense between Ichigo and Ishida, and down to the point where Ishida was threatening the nakama not to move. Ichigo did, obviously. Uryu shot him, he deflected in anger, and Ichigo's like, what the hell are you doing? And it's funny because throughout this chapter we see the contrast. Ishida is calm, quiet, composed, answering with integrity, and he's not stressed. Ichigo is raging, confused, and I'd say feeling somewhat betrayed. He wants to know what his friend's doing. He can't think straight. He's not looking, I'd say deeper into Ishida, and trying to think maybe this is acting. He generally thinks Ishida's betrayed them. So it's not bad for Ichigo to believe this, because considering what Ishida's done, he's disrupted the world, being held together. Even Ichigo's like, do you know what this means? What's going to happen? All the worlds are going to disappear. And Ishida responds, yeah, that's why I'm here. So that line there makes me think, Ichigo is going to take his words at face value, make him rage, everyone's going to believe it, but Ishida is not really meaning that. And even down to the line about where he says, Ichigo questions him, where do you stand? Why are you over there? And he says, I stand over here still because I'm a Quincy. This just doesn't seem, truthful. It seems like, as I said, he's just trying to put on a show and make, the Sternritters trust him. Even the whole explanation of him dropping, Ichigo and Co. without killing them just seemed like it reeked of a ruse, and him trying to protect them so he can gain the Sternritters trust, which we see when the elite guard says, I'm convinced, I trust you. And I'm just sitting there thinking, Ishida is probably one of the best friends you could have in this series. I know what he's doing now probably isn't at the moment, it doesn't seem foolproof, because the world has lost its balance again. It's going to shake up, but I don't think he would recklessly do something knowing that he's putting the world in danger. And like I said, I think everything he's done is for show. It's for Yhwach to see, for the elite Sternritters to see, and it's to gain their loyalty so he can protect his friends and most likely carry out whatever plan he's intended to do. And that's the only thing I'm confused. What is his plan going to be? I think it's most likely going to involve whatever Yhwach is going to do, that only he himself believes that he can undo, or maybe a Quincy has to do it. I definitely think this is something he wants to try and take on himself, so he's leaving everyone in the dark and doing this behind everyone's back, so everything goes to plan. But as I said, a lot of people in the fandom are probably hating Ishida right now, calling him a traitor, but you have to think back far into Bleach that Ishida is not the kind of person that will betray people, and Urahime has mentioned that Ishida will be the type of person to say one thing but he means another. He's done that quite a few times, and as I said, in this chapter you can tell it's apparent. He only did that to make Ichigo play along, even though inadvertently Ichigo doesn't know this, but it's to create the whole scenario, create the ruse. And I definitely trust him. I just want to see what he's going to do, and how things are going to play out. I'm kind of, I'd say, annoyed with the rest of it. Not this thinking it's bad, just a bit, I'd say, kind of irritated. I was right about the elite guard arriving. I thought there was going to be a complete I'd say, battle between Ichigo and Ko, see what they could do. But they kind of just got flushed down the drain of the royal palace. Literally, Ishida just pulled the plug and everyone was gone swirling down. So I was expecting a fight with the elite guards, then the Shinigami would arrive and back up. But Ishida was technically the backup and the rescuer. He did that. He saved them from whatever fate was about to happen. And in some regards, I think this confirms that Yhwach was indeed shot in a, I'd say, not a mortally wounded way. He shot her to get rid of her, to save her, and now she's most likely been thrown down, injured, but not, I'd say, in any sort of mortal wound or severely injured to the point of death. So you can tell, as I said, he's planned everything out. He hasn't shot to kill anyone. So, like I said before, we need to see what he's thinking and what his actual plans are going to be. And I kind of say this is for the plot's sake as well. A lot of people like the final battle's coming, I said there's no way Bleach is coming to an end. There's still too much to show. And even these little battles that we've seen, Ichigo still hasn't actually had a serious battle or even had the chance to really begin to show us his actual power. So there's, as I said, lots of things like that to still show. And as I said, there's flashbacks and other things I still think were owed, like going back to 1,000 years with Yhwach versus Yamamoto. But as I said, going back to the chapter, I'm actually wondering what, absorbing the Soul King is going to do now, because he's gone from wanting to destroy the Soul Society and all the worlds, and now he wants to absorb the Soul King along with everything it possesses. So in that regard, wouldn't he become the next Soul King, or what the hell is that going to do to him and everything around? And what will happen to Ukitake now that Mimihagi-sama has been destroyed trying to, attack Yhwach? Will he die or will he live? Because I said before, I think Ukitake has been saved from death. He wasn't shown with a flashback, a complete flashback, I'll say. He hasn't shown his Bankai, and there was no color panel for his for him on that chapter a few chapters ago. So I definitely think he's going to live. I'm thinking maybe because the connection's broken from Mimihagi-sama, he's no longer a host. Maybe he will live. I'm hoping so, because killing off Ukitake this way would just seem like I'd say a sacrifice that's just been in vain. It would be really a waste of his character. So hopefully he still lives, and we'll see what happens next time. But one last thing I want to talk about is, even though I'm annoyed Ichigo and everyone's been flushed down the toilet again, going back to Soul Society most likely, I'm kind of laughing at the whole up and down scenario between Soul King Palace and Cerete. Ichigo's gone up and down like 3 times now, and it's like, it just seems like it's a hilarious never-ending journey between the two places of Soul King Palace and Cerete. So hopefully that stops. Maybe they will go to Cerete, meet the Shinigami, and then go back up, or maybe they'll stop midway and go back up. Either way, I hope there's no more traveling after this, because as funny as it is, it's starting to become a bit repetitive. So hopefully that stops, and the story will progress. But as I said, this chapter was enjoyable, very tense. Ishida has shown to me his true colours, that he's still loyal to his friends and he has a plan in mind. Whatever that is, we have to wait and find out. So you guys know the usual. If you got anything to say about this chapter, let me know in the comment box below, and I'll speak to you guys next week. Take care.